Natural disasters are just that, disasters. Recently, it's been disaster after disaster for select regions of the United States, being pelted by hurricanes and tornadoes alike and suffering through catastrophic flooding. We do what we can as a society to help those impacted, and the race that you're about to watch is evidence of that. This is the Flood Relief 227. Welcome to Pit Stop TV and to the virtual Sparta, Kentucky. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with Zachary King alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the Flood Relief 227. Tonight's coverage from almost in Phoenix. That's in the script here. That's old. From Kentucky, however, is brought to you by the Icon Cup Series, by Whiplash Simcams, and by ATVL. Now, I mentioned the Icon Cup Series there. They're an extension, or this event is kind of an extension of that series. Zach, you've run with it with these guys. What can we expect from these drivers on this racetrack in the new ARCA car this evening?
You can expect a lot. They're really hard racers. We're going to go over the track map real quick. 4 turns here at Kentucky Speedway. Track length is 1.5 miles. Pit road speed 45 miles an hour. Open in 2000. Very tough track, but also going to be a very fun track.
And it's different from end to end. Higher banking 1 and 2, a little bit wider racetrack, and a lower banking in 3 and 4. It's kind of the precursor to what happened to Texas Motor Speedway. It is owned by SMI, Speedway Motorsports Incorporated. It was kind of a playground a little bit for different reconfigurations in the mid-2010s. Kind of, I think, gave us a little bit of what we saw at Texas in their repaving reconfiguration. But it's a really cool racetrack. It doesn't get used much in iRacing leagues anymore. It's kind of fallen by the wayside. Now that we've got the new Kentucky Speedway, it kind of fell off a little bit now that NASCAR no longer goes to this racetrack. So it's good to see it here this evening, used wisely, I think, to help out a member of the sim racing community that has been impacted by flooding in Kentucky. We are racing here at the Kentucky Speedway just like that. So qualifying is getting going. We will cover some qualifying here and then get you down to some heat racing action, and we'll take you through all of it this evening. As we get into the sim here, wait for it. Right there, you can tell we are at sunset. It is getting dark. It is getting to be the right time for racing here on Pit Stop TV. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at some qualifying times so far. Fastest is going to be Jack Drucker in the 56 car. He has just completed his run, and most of the field has already completed their first or second lap, even in some cases. Here's a look at somebody who has not, but is second on the board. The 23 car, Charles Van Schick, coming around to the start-finish line. Zach, can he go any faster? We're going to see to the line. It's going to be from a 30.333 to a 30.361. A little bit slower, but still a fast lap time. It's Vincent Loria now goes second. Kevin Gunther comes across the line a little bit slower on his second lap. Jacob Gladulach out there this evening in a Tony Stewart lookalike. He's on his second lap. Let's see where he's at, coming around to the start-finish line now. And Gladulach across the stripe and over the jump down there, a 30.422. That's going to be good for a 10th spot, bumping Adam Ball out of the top 10. 4 more left to begin their qualifying runs. Nathan Finnegan is one of them. Now, this event is benefiting Kyle Vincent Gilbert, a member of the Icon Cup Series and a member of our sim racing community. But this guy, Nathan Finnegan, has been the backbone of getting this event organized. We'll talk more about Kyle Vincent Gilbert. We'll talk more about this event as the night goes on. But Nathan Finnegan is the guy who got it all organized, got this thing going this week, and is very much to thank for all of the fundraising that's been done. We'll talk some numbers here shortly, but here comes Finnegan around to complete lap number 1 for his run, and lap 1 for Finnegan, a 30.856. But I think you could agree, Zach, it seems like lap 2 might be the money lap for these guys.
I would agree. Once the tires start to get heated up, the car just gains so much more speed and has more stability, and you can rip that bottom in 3 and 4 and really carry the speed. So the first lap, everybody's just trying to gain the momentum and run the top. And as you see right there with Finnegan, he ran the bottom in 3 and 4, and I feel like he's having a faster lap time this time by.
Brian Smith at 30.317. That's not quite good enough for pole. That's good enough for position number 4. As the second lap time comes in for car 6, Nathan Finnegan will go 6th quick. and that will just about do it for qualifying. Some drivers are running some extra laps. That would include Kevin Gunther and Steven Luttrell. Luttrell now into the pit lane. We'll call it a day in qualifying. With qualifying out of the way, we can talk about what more we can expect this evening, and it's worth going over the Whiplash SimCam's race details a little bit early. We'll have two 20-lap heat races, then a 111-lap feature. The heat grids will be inverted, so they will flip from qualifying and line them up in two separate heat races to go for 20 laps apiece, and then go racing for that 111-lap feature. There are two change sets in every session this evening, 100% fuel load in every session this evening, one fast fix, I believe, in every session this evening, and 3 green-white checkers, I believe, in every session this evening. The difference, however, between the heat races and the feature is that the heat races will not count caution laps. The feature will. That is a big, big distinction to make now. Get that kind of expectation out of the way. The field is getting lined up for heat number 1 down on the grid. We've got about 28 cars that have shown up this evening, which means we have 14 in each heat. Let's take a look, Zach, at the Lucky Performance starting grid. On pole, it's going to be the slowest qualifier in this heat, of course, because of the invert. Chris Camburn will lead us to the green for heat number 1, with Andy Berry in second. Starting third will be Christoph Hall. From fourth will be Steven Luttrell. From fifth, Anthony Teseo. David Levine will start from 7th, Jacob Gladulich from 8th, Nicholas Renner from 9th, and Zach Schucker will start from 10th.
Starting 11th will be Josh Anderson. Starting outside him will be Charles Shellac. And then on the inside of row 7 is going to be Braxton DeWeese and Jack Drucker. And that is...
And Jack Drucker is our fastest qualifier this evening, so he will bring up the rear of the field here in heat number 1. I want to take a look at some of the presenting partners of this evening's race, some of the groups that are helping us out and making this event possible. They chipped in a little bit extra this evening. Of course, Vans Used Cars, Darkhaeus Digital, hashtag Free Vinny, and Icon Cup Series. The Icon Racing League has helped out a bunch for this event. We also want to thank those helping out here at Pit Stop TV, Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. There goes the field rolling off of the pit lane and onto the racetrack. Got a great look at them. Here we go. There's cars leaving the pit lane onto the racetrack. Going to get ready to go racing for 20 laps here in heat number 1. This is when everybody's heart rate starts to shoot up. It just starts to rise and rise and rise, and sometimes it feels like it's never going to stop rising. But this is that kind of moment, Zach, where we're going to shake all the dust off and get racing for the first time this evening. It's going to count a whole lot from lap 1.
A lot of the guys getting their tires warmed up and stalling the back a little bit, and they're still wiggling the cars, trying to get some heat in the tires. It's going to matter a lot going into turn 1 and 2 to grip that bottom and then carry it all the way down the back straightaway.
Everybody formed up, ready to go racing this evening. We'll turn the music down and turn the engines up. A couple of things to watch for today will be the Lucky Performance Lucky Break of the Day. We'll talk more about that later on, as well as the North American Racing League Driver of the Day conversation. We'll, of course, keep you updated on both of those as this day goes on. Coming around to the Geico restart zone to get this one underway, it's going to be Chris Camburn in the 27 and Andy Berry in the 21 on the front row into that restart zone, and we are racing this evening from Kentucky. Nicholas Renner already in trouble. Big crash with Jacob Gladulich, and we're already under a caution flag. Braxton DeWeese also involved. These guys should have one fast fix, get their cars repaired, and get back on the racetrack and at least take one more crack at it. But Zach Schucker, Nicholas Renner, Jacob Gladulich, and Braxton DeWeese all very much involved on this opening yellow.
And it might have looked like Renner might have spun the tires there. And take a look at it here.
We'll look back at this whole thing. Watch the pink number 11 then. That's Nick Renner. He's starting right behind David Levine in the 59 car. That pink number 11 they stacked up. He didn't spin any tires. They just stacked up in general. And then from there to the line, oh, wow, something happened to the 31. That was Kevin Gunther. That stacked the lineup some more. Look at it. Watch then the 31, Kevin Gunther on the bottom lane. Oh, third place rather, just dropped anchor at third left. That was Christoph Hall. Did you catch that one that time, Zach?
Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to. It looks a little weird. Did he miss a shift here?
He got hung up in gear. Yeah.
So with these ARCA cars, since they're so new, a lot of people haven't driven them. There's really like no indicator in the car that just shift, and the RPMs just ride at like 7,800, and that's when usually you got to shift before then. And it looks like he just hangs on it, and then it just shifts really late, and then everybody just clappers in behind.
Yeah, so Christoph Hall getting hung up in gear, holding up the field, and causing that one. That's just a chain reaction. Nothing those guys could have done behind him. But that's the way it goes sometimes, especially on these restarts. And restarts at Kentucky have always been crazy. Man, I have fond memories of when the NASCAR Cup Series did visit this racetrack for about, 7 years or so. The restarts were always insane. They were just always something to watch. A lot like, I don't want to say, I guess Pocono, just because of how crazy. But restarts were always pretty crazy here at Kentucky. And I seem to recall one Cole Custer getting his first NASCAR Cup Series victory here in a crazy late race restart. I think we'll see some of that this evening. Now, I mentioned earlier, caution laps will not count during this heat race, along with the second heat race coming up. So we stay formed up, ready to go racing. Should be the next time around. I think we should get that signal this time by iRacing pace car lights. Do they get shut off? The answer is yes. So we'll reform the field and go back racing this next time around. A handful of cars pitting and forming up at the back of the field here. Oh, one of them's Jacob Gladulich in the wall. The car looks okay. A couple others will include Zach Shucker and Nicholas Renner. There's Shucker. He's opting to continue on with that damage. Might not realize he's got a fast fix in the bank. That, or, Zach, the BRB Cup Series used to have fast fixes, so you know a thing or two about taking fast fixes early in a race. Do you want to take one yet, or do you want to hold on to it? I think Zach is holding on to it for a good reason.
It's a very good idea to hold on to it, because it's not 20 laps with caution laps, it's 20 green flag laps. So if we do have to have more cautions and just get involved, you won't have that fast fix later. So I do think it's smart just to maybe come put 4 tires on it and just see how it rides. Sometimes it'll work out, and other times it'll just, the car's too damaged and the car's just going to get really loose and wreck loose for him. But looks like it's just left front damage, I'm sorry, and he should be fine. Just maybe a plow a little bit in the corner.
Here we go, back around to the Geico restart zone to get this race kicked back off. We'll do it properly this time. Lap number 2 coming at you. Green flag back in the air here at Kentucky. Let's try it again. Through the first and second turns, side by side for the race lead. Camburn down low, Barry up top. And we are properly racing this time to turn number 3. Crashing. Anthony DeSeo. Zach Shucker is involved and looks like a genius now for not taking that fast repair.
And that looked like a big hit for the 15. The 15 looks like a hard hit.
Back to the restart. Already 2 cautions here early. Not a great look, but room to improve over the course of this 227-mile affair. Watch Anthony DeSeo in that number 15 car. He was racing alongside Braxton Deweese, and I think DeSeo tried to drop low. Deweese was running his line, and oh man, Zach Shucker, just the wrong place at the wrong time.
That was a vicious hit.
Watch it here from the 48's perspective. This is Zach Shucker. See, Renner had passed him on the restart. There's nowhere for Zach to go.
Oh, man. That was rough.
I'm gonna watch this back one more time. I'm gonna watch from Teseo's onboard.
Does he miss a gear as well?
Maybe, maybe not. He did leave a bit of a gap up ahead, but watch this here down to turn 3. He's gonna try and take a lower lane to the inside of that 23 car, I think. Tries to make a dive, but already got a car there. That's Braxton Louise, and that's contact.
It kills Shucker's car.
While the rest of the field continues on under caution, this is a great chance maybe to dial up a driver for the first time this evening. And let's see, who do we want to dial up? We've got a wide variety. Let's go ahead and let's grab Andy Berry, who's leading. Oh, never mind. It's already 1 to green. Didn't even notice that until just now. So we won't get him. We'll try out of the next yellow maybe if there is another yellow. We'll try and dial up Andy Berry, but I thought we had one more lap to green. I guess I was mistaken, but that means we can go back racing that much quicker and get this race underway properly. We've still got all 14 cars, although 2 are in the pit lane. Those are Anthony Teseo and Zach Shucker. You see them both there from that one camera angle, and both of them missing the front bumper. This time by, though, 12 cars left on the racetrack into the Geico restart zone, and we are racing once again here at Kentucky.
Barry gets a really good jump on that restart.
Andy Berry straight out to the race lead. All in second, contact for third. Luttrell and Camburn, they door bang once again down to the third turn, and Berry's losing the race lead. It's 3 wide up front.
Barry trying to hold on with that top line. He might be able to get around here off exit with the momentum. Still side by side, but it looks like he's going to be able to lead.
And that was Hall down there with the race lead. That was a good look at the entire field across the start-finish line to complete the first green flag lap of the night. Hall's got the race lead. Barry in second, smashing the outside wall a little bit. Here comes the 31 of Kevin Gunther. On board with Barry. Gunther's on the move on the outside lane. Barry down to third place in that National Guard, number 21. And Barry was very candid earlier today in the Discord channel about why he signed up for the National Guard. It was because of flood responses like in South Carolina back in 2015 that he signed up. And flood response is very similar to what we saw in Kentucky here recently this spring and ongoing. Tried to help those impacted by the flood that Kyle Winston was unfortunately a part of, and we're trying to help him out of a hole of.
I'm really liking how Braxton Louise is running right now. He was on the bottom a little bit earlier on. Now he's starting to gain some ground and make some movement on the outside lines. I think he's got this a little figured out.
Yeah, on board with Louise. He's up to fourth place right behind Drucker, who went on pole, dives to the inside of that 56 car, and is going to have the yellow line through 3 and 4. You know, in my testing, it was troublesome trying to get the car wrestle it down to that yellow line and actually keep it down there in 3 and 4. These guys, though, they seem to have it figured out.
I'd say the yellow line in 3 and 4 is the faster way around and a little bit wider in turns 1 and 2. But if you can get on that yellow line in turns 3 and 4, like Braxton Louise was doing, it just carries so much speed and so much momentum, and it doesn't really kill the tires as much.
Louise down to 5th, Andy Berry down to 4th, Gunther in 3rd, but 2nd is Jack Drucker, and I think that's the car we've got to watch this evening. The 56 Paycon Toyota Camry has been all electric on the racetrack. He set the fastest time in qualifying, and here he is again in heat number 1, looking for the race lead now. And he can play with his foot a little bit. He can move around and try to find the right way to get by Hall. He doesn't have to be pressured into a mistake here. Looks low through 3 and 4 as the back of the field settles in. Let's check it out. David Levine, Jacob Bladge, look at these guys side by side all over the racetrack. Josh Anderson there as well. I think he got a piece or two of one of the crashes, so good to see him still on the racetrack. Chris Camburn, Stephen Luttrell out here as well. Up front, I gotta say, I am impressed by the 98. He had that bad start to get going, but since then has lit this field up, is still leading, now approaching halfway, but here comes that 56 car.
Rucker trying to make the outside work here. He's going to try to side draft before we get on the backstretch. Not going to be enough. Hall's going to be able to close the door.
Right down to the bottom goes that Sweetwater 98. Misses it a little bit, washes up, but that's okay. Wide turn 4 here means he can track all the way out and use all that racetrack, and he hangs on to the race lead. Now halfway down, halfway to go in Heat 1.
Look what Gunther and Drucker just did. They just bump draft each other up there and close that gap up a little bit. Drucker looking to the inside of Hall. Oh, not going to be enough. He still sits behind him, but he's going to get a big pull down the straightaway into turn 3.
Love cycling through these onboard cameras showing this lead battle. It's still that Camry of Hall out front, Drucker in second and Gunther in third. DeWeese has been promoted to 4th place, so the 5 car is on the move. And there you see Andy Berry in 5th. Stephen Luttrell in 6th, Camburn in 7th. That's the battle that we're watching now, as they're just ahead there of Josh Anderson and David Levine. Luttrell
looking to the outside.
You called it Anderson going to the outside of that top split Brotherhood number 07. He's looking for ground. Whoa, and DeWeese just crossed up underneath Kevin Gunther. That was a big move off the corner. Scrapes the outside wall, approaching turn 1, but he hangs on to the spot.
And throw a little bit of dirty air onto that 31 machine. And pull it away a little bit.
Boy, did it work.
Something you'll hear me say out tonight is dropping that dirty air on their nose. You do that, and you can just rocket ship off into the corner and break away from them, and they'll pull you back on the straightaways.
Camburn looking at the inside here of Andy Berry. Luttrell going to approach on the outside and maybe take that spot away. That would be for the 6th position. Crossover here from the 07 Anderson. He looked low. This is a really cool format for a race like this, to not just run a straight up race, but run a couple of heats beforehand, give us a little taste of the action, and split things up a little bit for these guys. We're still going to run what's going to be a total of 151 green flag laps, or I guess we could have some caution laps there in the feature, but it's going to be a total of 227 miles to match the number that Kyle Vincent Gilbert runs in the Icon Cup Series and so many of his leagues on iRacing. You're watching this fight in the back half of the top 10, as we think very much about Kyle Vincent Gilbert and his family as they go through the impacts of this flooding in Kentucky. They lost a couple of vehicles, they lost a whole bunch in their home, and it's just absolutely wreaked havoc on their lives. That's why we're racing this evening. We have raised, Zach, are you ready for this number? Nearly $800 in advance of this event for that family to just help them out, get through this tough time, and continue on and get back sim racing as soon as possible.
This is what makes this community so great. We can raise $800 for somebody that lost almost everything in a flood in Kentucky, and we're all here supporting him and trying to help out the best we can. Not everybody has money they can just give, but people do, and it's just out of the kindness of their hearts. And this community is just so great. The relationships and stuff that you build with this community and all iRacing, it just blows my mind with how the community can just come together in support.
No change for the race lead. We'll continue watching this battle in the back. This is the Flood Relief 227. You see the info there on your screen. This is to help Kyle Vincent Gilbert and his family. And you can donate by using that PayPal QR code on the right side of that graphic. If you have trouble, let us know. We'll get you in contact with the right people to donate to the right place. But again, nearly $800 already raised, and we're raising some more this evening through the course of this race. This is a pretty crazy battle we've been talking over. Andy Berry, Chris Camburn, David Levine, they're all just throwing haymakers, and here comes Josh Anderson through the middle, 3 wide. How about that?
Oh, Josh Anderson making moves. It might not be for a top spot, but he's still pushing as hard as he can.
And Braxton DeWeese is coming on late here, 2 laps to go here in heat number 1. He just passed for second, and he is moving up quickly. He might have just enough to reach that 98 car for the race win.
He should be able to pull him in here on the straightaway. It's going to be real tight to see what he decides to do in turns 1 and 2. Going to run a little bit wider to get a little bit more momentum. Coming to the line, 1 lap to go. Can DeWeese close up on him?
White flag brought to you by Whiplash Media. First of the night, Braxton DeWeese in that short track report number 5. Trying to reel in the Sweetwater 98 of Christoph Hall. One more opportunity down here in the heat race to set the lineup for tonight's feature event. It's going to be Christoph Hall off of turn number 4 to the checkered flag and winning heat race number 1.
He tried to have it there on the bottom. He almost had enough. Wasn't enough at the line.
Christoph Hall, what a run. Very impressive to get the day started here at Kentucky. Had that bad start where he missed the shift, but he rebounded from that and wins our first heat race of the night. Nick Renner comes around and completes his race 9 laps down. He will start from the rear of the field. And that'll do it for heat race number 1 this evening. You look from high above the Kentucky Speedway. Of course, no longer used in the NASCAR National Series, but still here for us to enjoy on iRacing. With that said, let's get ready for heat race number 2. We'll have 13 cars here in this heat race, so a 27 car field in total. And on pole position, the Lucky Performance starting grid shows us Sean O'Hara. Sean O'Hara, he's been on Pit Stop TV before. Brock Hersey, he's also been on Pit Stop TV before. They will share the front row here to begin heat race number 2. Devin Vinsaw, Rusty Modesty there in row number 2. Richard Wolsifer from row 3 alongside Jonathan Duncan. Adam Ball, Jacob Grant, they make up row 4 with Christian Lotion, and that's going to be Steve Staggermain. I'm going to go with the last name. A couple of complicated last names for us, but that's what we're going to go with. Staggermain, I think, is what we're going to try there for 10th place starter in that 47 car.
Starting on the inside of row number 6 is going to be Nathan Finnegan. Outside of him will be Brian Smith. Starting 13th and qualified second is Vincent Loria.
Now, Vincent Loria is one of tonight's partners, sponsors, if you will, for this event. He's running a special paint scheme, and a funny one at that. Shedding some light on the situation here. He was... I got to tiptoe around this, but I believe he was removed from the Icon Cup Series after last season. We covered that series in depth all year long in 2024. Removed after that season, I believe... This is what I'm going off of. We're no longer part of the Icon Cup Series. We wish them all the best, but no longer, I believe, in that series. So he is running a free Vinny campaign, and it's showcased there on his car. He did also donate some extra, so we want to give him this time of day here. Hashtag free Vinny there on the pylon.
That's awesome.
Something a little fun to just enjoy this evening, but here we go. We'll come around to the Geico restart zone. Sean O'Hara in control for this one. It'll be the number 26 of Brock Hersey on his outside. A couple of throwback paint schemes on that front row to enjoy here. Coming to the green flag. Waiting on the restart zone, and there it is. Green flag in heat number 2.
Sean O'Hara's been able to get a good jump on the field.
For Richard Walsifer straight through to third place. Vinsaw through to second. Brock Hersey, who started second, already back to fourth and dropping to fifth. Up the racetrack goes Vinsaw. One lap complete this time by O'Hara leads it. Oh, sideways the 44. Hang on to it. Rusty Modesty in the wall. The 13 of Duncan in the wall. The 26 of Hersey in the wall. Then again, just squeezed by. And look at this. Richard Walsifer now in pursuit of Sean O'Hara. We know a lot about Richard Walsifer from the BRB Cup Series. And you run against him, Zach. This is nobody to mess around with. He's had a lot of bad luck this year. A lot of bad luck. But he is not one to mess around with. He's quick, and he shows it off there with a fast lap.
He is not somebody you want to be on the wrong side of. He's a great person, but when he's in that car, he is aggressive, and if there's a gap, he's going to go for it, and more power to it, because how he does it, he's looking for a move here on the outside, but how he's just so aggressive in the car, it's awesome to see. And as he goes to the lead here, side by side, we'll be able to get him down in turn one. Runs another fast lap. He might get a run here off exit, and he is. Gonna side draft a little bit. Down the back straightaway, side by side. Can he close it? He is. He's gonna be clear. Richard Walsifer to the point. Love to see that.
Walsifer takes over. Here comes Jacob Grant to the inside of Sean O'Hara. Santa, as we call him, that's O'Hara. He's from Alaska, but he is starting to melt down the field here into second place and now looking maybe third as Grant works on the inside. Ryan Smith is on the move. He's up to fourth place, and he is coming in that 78 car.
All these battles in this field. This track is so good with these cars. I've learned over the last couple weeks. This combo right here is really good. It produces really, really good racing, especially these ARCA cars now, the new ones.
Whoa, Brian Smith to the inside.
Oh my gosh.
3 wide to turn one. Smith is looking for first, and he's going to have it down there. That's 3 spots between the start-finish line and turn number 2.
What a move by Brian Smith. Goes from 4th to 1st. Looks like he's going to stay side by side with Richard Walsifer. Side by side, a little bit of contact.
That's the kind of stuff I miss from Brian Smith. We used to cover the Icon Cup Series. We don't anymore. He kept running in the series, and it's that kind of electricity that I expect out of the 78 car, and that kind of electricity that I miss having on Pit Stop TV. That was amazing.
That was awesome. That was the coolest move I've seen in a long time on the service, and wow.
Let's jump back on board with Nathan Finnegan, who was pretty quick in qualifying. He's moving through the field up to 7th. Looking on the outside of Adam Ball, no dice up there. Oh, and a contact there from Hersey on the inside.
I was able to talk with Nate a little bit earlier on in the night, and he said he doesn't feel strong about his single car speed, but he feels like once he gets in the pack and he starts being able to draft and see what other people are doing, he said he's going to feel like he can move up and get some speed, and I mean, he started to do it. He's moving on up.
He is definitely moving forward now to the inside of Sean O'Hara as battles develop ahead, but that is 3 wide across the stripe. Vincent Loria now to the inside of Richard Walsifer. That's going to be for second contact between those two. Loria got the apron and bumped up the racetrack just ahead of Grant there. And, oh man, Sean O'Hara and Nathan Finnegan, they are in trouble slow out of turn 2. They're going to drop all the way out of the top 10. Caution is out.
Oh, man.
Rusty Modesty with damage. Let's see what happened to Modesty first. Diving into turn 3 here. Everything looks okay, but then they stack up underneath him, and oh my gosh, what a hit.
That was... oh my. Some of these hits just so bad.
That hardly showed what happened, but watch the 7, Mountain Dew 7 there. Gets tagged by the 47 of Steve Staggermain, and oh man. Big hit for the 7 there of Vinsaw. And then down in 1 and 2, what happens here with Finnegan and Hersey? Hersey up the racetrack. O'Hara was slow at some point, but this might have been a lap. Yeah, it's going to be a lap later that we see it down here in 1 and 2. So we'll follow this through. But watch the green Bobby Labonte, number 25. That's Sean O'Hara up the racetrack out of 4. That's what opened the door for Finnegan down low. And then into 1 and 2, what happens here? Oh, I don't think Sean knew he was there.
Then what? Was the big wreck what brought out the caution?
You know, I don't know, but one thing I do know is we've got a field on pit lane for the first time tonight. Free Vinny Pit Road has been opened up. And here in a few, they'll come around to the Vans used cars restart zone to get back racing this evening. Christian Lotion gonna win the race off of pit lane. He takes 2 tires, and that is a big move to beat the field out of Free Vinny Pit Road.
I don't hate the call. I really like the call. But these art cars, if you can just get the tires cooled down and recycle them, I guess is what it's called. They have so much pace in them, and it's lots of words, but yeah, I like the call. I like the 2 tire strategy call here.
We'll see how it works out. About half the race down and about half the race to go. We'll restart here on lap 10 with 11 to go. Back around to the Vans restart zone. Green flag, back in the air here at Kentucky. Brian Smith on that outside, gonna squeeze down onto the door of the 3 car. And out of turn number 2, watch the 78. He's gonna have a run, and he's gonna bring Wolsifer along with. Smith has got the race lead to turn 3.
A little bit of stack up, a little bit of bumpers.
Staggerman on the outside. From being involved in that crash to passing for 3rd here on the restart. What a change of events for that 47 car, up to 3rd.
Where did that run come from? Looked like shades of Cole Custer. Wow, up to 3rd. 3 wide now. Finnegan, Wolsifer, and I believe that's Grant.
That's Grant way down low in the 55 car. In that 56, but scored as car number 10 is Richard Wolsifer. He'll fall back now as Finnegan gets clear of them both. Wolsifer and Grant continue to fight. Oh, and Finnegan grabs the outside wall as Staggerman drives through to 2nd place. He is also on 2 tires. So right there with Lotion on 2 tires. But here comes Finnegan on 4. Caution. Adam Ball, Sean O'Hara involved. Gonna look back at it here for the 25 and the 19. The 19 a little bit ahead there. That's the white and red machine on the left side of your screen. Just went out of picture. Here it comes back into picture. They stacked up off the corner, off of turn 2. Gloria to the inside, Ball up top, O'Hara in the middle. And O'Hara just got tight and tagged the 19.
Might have been carrying just a little bit too much speed into turn 3 and 4. He still felt the car start to slide up, maybe getting tight, maybe brought in too much speed, but he tried to clear him, but it wasn't enough.
Just gets into the 19 there and then got hit from behind as well, so that just made it all that much worse.
He had the wheel cranked as hard as he could, as you could see on when we were in the end car. Just wasn't enough.
No pit stops from the leaders, but this will bring O'Hara and Ball back to the pit lane. And we are lights out, ready to go back green. So O'Hara and Ball will have to take their fast repairs maybe and get back on the racetrack quickly. Looks like a fast repair has been taken for the 25 and the 19 cars. They will head back out there and get re-racked and restacked to go this time by. And it looks like, have we just gone to single file restarts?
I know they've been shortening the cautions. It looks like, it sounds like we're gonna go back to the staggered.
We're getting back side by side. Want to give another big thank you to those who helped out with this event. Of course, the Icon Cup Series, Fans Used Cars, Darkaius Digital, and Free Vinny. Hashtag Free Vinny. We'll come back around to the Vans Used Cars restart zone, this time by, and get this field restarted with 8 laps to go here in heat race number 2. Green flag, back in the air here, 8 to go.
Oh, a little bit of stack up accordion, just like what we saw in the first restart of heat number 1. They all get through though. Spinning the tires.
Brian Smith down the way, clear by a couple of car lengths. Lotion and Sattermain battling with Brantley inside. Here comes Vincent Loria and Nathan Finnegan on board of Loria. One lap complete.
Vincent is ripping that bottom on the yellow line, just where you want to be. But he's got Finnegan to his outside.
Jacob Grant.
Feels like a pack race.
Yeah, it really does in a lot of ways. Jacob Grant nearly clear of that 3 car. Should be clear off of turn 4 here. He's going to race up and battle for second place in that 55 car. And it's a dive straight down to the apron through the front stretch. That's going to make it work for second place. On the inside, a stagger made in a 47. And the 55 is going to take that spot away as Richard Wolsifer goes back fastest this evening in this heat race. Finnegan grabs the wall. Lori is side by side with Lotion. And here comes Wolsifer. He's up to 7th.
Wolfman got a little messed up there on the restart. I think it was an accordion effect, but now he's going to go 3 wide. Oh!
Wow, that got tight.
that was tight.
Whoa, spinning! Staggermain off the nose of Vincent Loria and up into Brock Hersey. Immense, massive, huge crash.
Ouch. Oh, that car is destroyed.
Something just went completely awry between Staggermain and Loria there on the front stretch. We'll take a look back at it. Watch between these two. Watch that orange 67 get a run. And Loria's going to take it low. And the 47 just turned down across the nose of the 67. I don't know what he was hoping to grab in that block.
And he hit the inside wall and just shot him right back up the track.
From Loria's perspective, look at this run. Loria could have maybe taken it a little bit further down the racetrack, but he had a massive run and got blocked pretty low. And here comes
maybe Loria was trying.
Go ahead.
I think Loria was maybe looking for a little bit of side drop to even try to pull a little bit closer, but it just wasn't. Oh my.
Yeah, there's the blind side for Brock Hersey.
Those are never fun.
No clue that was coming. All of a sudden just gets completely taken off the racetrack. Watch this here. Real time. Oh my gosh. Ooh. That car is completely in the air when it hit the wall. One more look before we go back to live
off the
picture.
Ground.
We're going to slow this down here in a second. Then we'll come back to live picture for the restart. Watch this. Oh, man, that's not the greatest angle, I guess, but You get the picture. So Hersey is taking the tow back to the pit lane. Actually, he drove back around. No, he did tow. For the wrong driver. Modesty drove back to the pit lane, but Hersey is towing. He's waiting on the tow truck to get him back around, which means he will start from the rear of the feature. Meanwhile, everybody else re-racks and restacks, ready to go at it again here in heat race number 2. Got a lot of heavy hitters up front. I would say the 5 fastest cars in the race are the top 5 right now. Smith, Grant, Finnegan, Loria, Wolsifer. Here we go. Gonna be 4 laps to go in heat number 2, and we get this green flag here. Wait for it. The restart zone's all the way down here. Green flag back in the air here at Kentucky.
Looks like Grant spun the tires a little bit. Smith's able to pull away a big gap going into turn 1.
That Vans used cars restart zone never disappoints. Finnegan straight to the inside here. Moves to the inside of Grant. Loria sitting back and forth. Make that third as he dives on the outside of Finnegan. Contact between those two Chevrolets.
Almost looked 4 wide for a second. I think they're going to go back to 3 wide here. Oh.
This is incredible racing. This 111 lap feature is going to be absolutely insane. 3 wide through 1 and 2. They hold on to it. Wolsifer up top. O'Hara down low. Finnegan in the sandwich.
Three wide for almost a whole lap.
They're going to make it a whole
3 wide
lap.
behind them. Oh my goodness.
2 laps to go here. Popsicle sticks in the air for heat race number 1. Brian Smith and Jacob Grant are on top of one another as they continue racing 3 wide behind them.
Still 3 wide. Oh my goodness. This is awesome.
This is some proper racing.
Now that's how you do it.
Adam Ball at the racetrack is going to come around and collect the Whiplash SimCam's white flag. One more time around here in heat race number 2. Brian Smith in control. 2nd place, Jacob Grant. 3rd place, Vincent Loria.
If Grant can get a big run here off the exit and can side draft the 78, it could shape up really good for Vincent. Not going to be enough.
Back. Here comes Loria on the inside for 2nd. Down, way down low on that yellow line. Loria's not going to have enough, I don't think. But out front, it's all Brian Smith to the checkered flag. He wins heat race number 2. And I think Loria just got 2nd, and there was a great finish behind him as well.
That was a great finish. That was a great run to the checkered. 4 laps. That was perfect.
Loria grabs 2nd, then Grant, O'Hara, and Wolsifer your top 5. Finnegan 6th, Lotion 7th, and Duncan and more. We'll take a 3-minute warm-up session and look around the field a little bit before we go racing for this feature race. I gotta catch my breath, though. That was absolutely insane. That was really good stuff there in heat number 2.
This combo just never disappoints. It's all great racing every time I've been here to watch or race. And I'm happy that it's going on tonight and we're having really good racing. 3 wide in the middle of the field. I don't know, it gets much better than this. I feel like I'm watching a race at Daytona or Talladega.
Kentucky is very much underrated, and we're seeing that this evening. This ARCA car here, a really good combo, as you've mentioned. Boy, really good racing so far throughout the evening. And, you know, if nothing else, we've raised a bunch of money for the Kyle Vincent Gilbert family, and they get to sit back and enjoy this race. I know they're going through a lot right now, but hopefully this is a distraction, if nothing else, for them to sit back and enjoy some really good racing here on the iRacing.com sim. That said, if you are able to donate, you can do so here with the graphic on your screen. Of course, tonight is the Flood Relief 227, benefiting Kyle Vincent Gilbert and his family. A lot of damage was done. And we're trying to help reverse some of that, help them out a little bit at least, and help this sim racing family get back on their feet. So if you can donate, we ask you to please do so. At least consider doing so with the QR code provided there on PayPal.
Flood damage is a serious thing. I know, just gonna go a little off topic here. When my cousin had their house flooded down in Hollywood, I'd say 2 or 3 years ago, they lost everything. And it was rough. They had to move back in with my godparents, and that's where they stayed for a little bit until they could get their money back up. But it's so bad, and the mold and all this stuff that just happens from water. Water is one of the hardest forces. It's almost as bad as fires, but it's worse. It floods everything. A lot of stuff gets ruined. Irreversible damage has happened with these floods, and we are thankful that everybody's been able to support and help out. Hopefully Kyle Vincent can get back on his feet with his family and join us sometime soon back in the sim racing community.
Just a few seconds left here in the warm-up session. So far, fastest on the racetrack is Jack Drucker. He's been a lot of fun to watch in that 56 car. And this warm-up session will come down to a close. I want to give another shout out to those who helped out for this event. Of course, the Icon Cup Series, a big part of things, but also Fans Used Cars, Arceus Digital, hashtag Free Vinny, all helping out with this event and supporting this great cause. We also want to thank those here at Pit Stop TV helping us get to and from the virtual racetrack. Whiplash Simcams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. It's that time to go down through the Lucky Performance starting grid. On pole this evening through the heat races for this feature event, it's going to be car 98, Christoph Hall. Brian Smith will start from second place, a great starting spot for a dominant driver there in heat number 2. Starting third, it's Braxton DeWeese, Vincent Loria from fourth. There in row number 3, it's Jack Drucker in the 56 and Jacob Grant in the 55. Starting 7th, it's Kevin Gunther alongside Sean O'Hara. To complete your top 10, you've got Jacob Gladulich and Richard Wolsifer.
Starting in row 6, on the inside is going to be Stephen Luttrell, and outside him is going to be Nathan Finnegan, who showed some speed early on in heat race number 2. Chris Camburn and Christian Lotion will start in row 7. Row 8 is going to be David Levine and Jonathan Duncan. Starting in row 9 is going to be Josh Anderson and Devin Visnaw. And then following behind them is going to be Charles Shack and Steve Diggermain.
Back in 21st spot, it's car 21, Andy Barry. Adam Ball rolls off from 22nd spot. Anthony DeSeo from 23rd. Rusty Modesty from 24th. And the back 3 cars, Zach Shucker in the 48, Brock Kersey in the 26, and Nicholas Renner back there in car number 18. He'll be displayed, though, on the race car as car number 11. There was a small error when signing some of these guys up, so some of the car numbers won't match quite right. 111 laps, that's the race distance. 2 change sets in the pit lane. 3 sets total. 100% fuel, no stages or anything, just a straight up race for 111 laps here at Kentucky Speedway. 1 fast fix in the bank if they need it. 3 green white checkers are available if we need it. It's going to be a good race here, Zach.
It's going to shape up. We saw both heats. A lot of drivers are aggressive. A lot of drivers want to get to the front. Some of them are at the front. Some of them are in the back. It's going to be 111 laps of pure madness and insanity, and it's going to be awesome to watch.
Weather conditions for this evening's race in the sim, 73.3 degrees in the air, mostly cloudy skies, 75 degrees on track. Here we go, we'll turn the music down and turn the engines up and get ready to go racing this evening in the Flood Relief 227, waiting on that green flag here. And there it is, green flag for Christoph Hall. We're racing in the Flood Relief 227.
Hall gets a really good start. How long will it take for Brian Smith to come back and take that lead from him? He was really strong from the back to the front in heat race number 2. He's going to have a little bit of a run here. Hall's going to try to block the air, go all the way down. Gonna be 3 wide.
I think Hall is coming into pit. I think he's got a penalty of some sort that we weren't aware of. He's coming into the pit lane.
Oh
98.
my. Maybe a restart violation.
1 lap complete. Ryan Smith, the race leader, now uncontested. Braxton DeWeese is not far back. 56 of Jack Drucker sits in 3rd. Jacob Grant in 4th, and Vincent Loria in 5th.
Oh man.
Sean O'Hara to the inside of Kevin Gunther. That's good for 6th position for the time being. They battle off the corner. First side-by-side on the racetrack.
Wolfsburg's gonna be a name to watch here throughout these 111 laps. Real strong, had the fastest lap in heat number 2. He has a fast car. I just wonder if he can continue with it and not fall into struggles that he's had previously.
Gracie Hall getting back on the racetrack. Here comes Drucker on the inside of DeWeese. And going 3 wide for a moment there. Jacob Grant was sticking his nose in the middle of things. And a run off the corner for Braxton DeWeese. He will hang on to 2nd.
DeWeese trying to hold on to 2nd. As Hersey takes the fastest lap of the race. Still side by side for 2nd. Looks like Smith's gonna come up and give DeWeese the run down the straightaway with the draft. Still side by side.
On board here with Jacob Grant riding right behind that battle. Paycon Toyota on the inside, short track report, 4 on the outside. Richard Wolsifer has a run. He's going to go by the 55 car of Grant. And look at Brian Smith. He's going to get taken 3 wide nearly. We are pack racing here in Kentucky. This is a beautiful thing to see.
I don't think anybody is single file besides the leader right now, but everybody's side by side. Matt, this is awesome. Pure chaos, and it's awesome, but it's controlled chaos. 3 wide deeper in the field. These guys are leaving it all on the line right now, and this is what you want to see.
These are some beautiful shots. Watching the field rip on by us. 2, 3 wide in some cases. Mostly 2 wide. Way out wide. Way out wide goes Grant. He's going to have a run here on the 5 of DeWeese. Goes nowhere with it. Stays behind the 5 car for now. But DeWeese looks to the inside of Smith. The door gets slammed.
A little bit of a checkup there from DeWeese. With these ARCA cars, you can just move around so much and still carry so much speed. It's really cool to watch. As here comes Grant to the outside of DeWeese. Gonna have a run here down the straightaway. Can he hold on to it? Can he get 2nd?
Battle for 2nd underway on lap 7 of 111. And Grant's got the spot. He's going to chase after Brian Smith now to the inside here in turn 1. And that time, Smith gave him the lane, and it gets shut down pretty quick. Smith drives away on the outside. They get hung up. Here comes Luttrell for 3rd.
Everybody's still side by side. Almost 4 wide action there. So it's like 4th. They all mind their P's and Q's. Stay 3 wide. Still side by side for 2nd with Grant.
Wolsifer caught in the middle here between DeWeese and Gunther. They now drive off of turn number 2. Gunther's got the spot. Wolsifer wants it back. Wolsifer sits in 5th as Luttrell drives up to 2nd place on the outside of Jacob Grant. This is only lap 9 of 111. We've got a long ways to go. We've got some pit stops to make, and these guys are racing like it's the final 5.
You just gotta think, at least somebody's gotta be saving their tires or saving their car right now. You only get 2 sets of tires in this race. You've got to stretch about 40, 35, 40 laps on each set of tires that you have. If you have enough set, you even have good tires for the end. And with the wrecks we've seen and how late they are in the heat race number 2, tires are gonna matter at the end.
Jacob Gladue is coming to the pit lane here. Problems with the 14 car, unsure what's going on. He will actually stay on the racetrack. I think he dove out of the group to just get away from everybody there. side by side for second, lap 11 of 111.
Back to single file. I think they're starting to single out. Oh, Richards. Oh, Wolfsburg gets a little bit of contact, saves it.
Watching the battle up top in the top 4. Grant on the back end of Luttrell, who's cleared for second. Luttrell looks to the inside and 1. That door gets slammed. Gunther's in 4th, right behind these 3. So it's Chevrolet, Ford, Chevrolet, then Toyota in 6th. That's Drucker. And we are now single file through the top 10. Look at this view. Single file all the way back to all the way back to Nathan Finnegan there. Look at this battle. Finnegan on the outside, Duncan on the inside. They stay 2 wide in a whole pack. One car off the racetrack, it's Nick Renner. He's been in the pit lane now for 3 minutes. He is 6 laps down, and unfortunately, Whiplash Racing driver of the DRB Cup Series is going to come to an early demise, it seems. As you watch this battle around outside of the top 10. But they are starting to heat it up for second again, and look at this. Luttrell and Grant side by side, second place. They're right behind Smith. Here we go.
Luttrell's gonna get a run down the straightaway. Looks like Grant's gonna look back down to the inside. They're all side by side again. Just had a couple laps of single file, but now they're back. Luttrell back up to second. Looks like he's gonna try to close on Brian Smith. Might be able to get a run here going into turn 1.
Hello,
and he
Chris
is.
Camber.
Luttrell's got the bottom second.
Luttrell making that bottom side work on the inside of Smith. Brian Smith is so often untouchable in the Icon Cup Series, but tonight, while he's been good through Heat 2 and the beginning here of the feature race, he's got company. Steven Luttrell on the inside of that 78 car, bringing the smoke, falls back a little bit there, but he tests the waters. He knows a bit more now about how to approach that 78 car and try and pass him.
78 car has been so strong, and you're going to have to work with the people around you to try to pass him. Use the draft to your advantage. A little bit of contact there. Looks like they stay off each other. Wolfsburg in the wall. But like I said, you have to team up and you have to work together to get around the 78. He's just too strong out front by himself.
Grant now through to second place. Luttrell falls back. Whoa, Kevin Gunther hang on to it. He does. 3 wide. Here we go. This is about for 5th. Camber on the outside.
For the lead.
Oh, you're right. Grant got to the inside that time through 1 and 2. Smith is letting these guys get the bottom. He's hanging onto the top side and defending really nicely. He knows his stuff. He knows how to defend that top spot. He's letting them use their stuff up down low and driving back around them on the top side. I want to call out a couple of drivers here at the back end of the top 10. David Levine and Braxton DeWeese, they've been having a heck of a fight. Levine in that 59 car in 10th, DeWeese in 9th. Presumably these guys are trying to save some tire. But they are starting to fall a little ways back now, the race leaders. And Loria is going to make it 3 wide through the middle of Levine and Luis. Levine falls back, and he says, yeah, go ahead. Now, avid ARCA fans may recognize this guy's name, David Levine. He's got experience in cars just like this here at Kentucky Speedway. He has run in the ARCA Menard Series, has a full season under his belt back in 2015, and was quite competitive at places like this, mile and a halfs like this. Has talked a lot about how much he enjoyed racing at Kentucky when he's back here this season trying to give these guys some hell. Doing a good job so far in the top half of the field there in 12th spot.
And that's what's so great about this service. You can find people that have driven these cars like in real life, like They've driven these cars. They know how these cars work, and they still get beat. And that's what's so great about this service is you don't have to have the most fancy setup. It just, you know how to drive them, got it. And it's the crazy thing that still occurs to me is some people are on these insane setups and they're still getting beat by guys with single monitors and just Thrustmaster force feedbacks or all these other wheels that are budget sins, and they can still hold on and hang on with these guys.
I mentioned we've been green since the drop of the green. We've only had to use that Vans restart zone once so far tonight in this feature event, and maybe I'm going to regret this. I will knock on wood just in case. Oh, yeah, sure enough, I talked into existence. Big crash, Finnegan involved, Ursi involved, and so many more. We were green for 21 laps, and here on lap 22, there's a problem.
Come on, Andrew. In the middle of your sentence. Oh, yeah. Man.
I've never spoken one into existence quite like that. Chris Camburn, we're in the 27 car, racing with Staggermain in the 47. Loria on the inside. Tags the 47, and Staggermain overcorrects, and that was vicious. Wow.
Not an arc race without some little bit of arc brakes. Wow.
This is a pretty big hit for Staggermain, and he kind of drove the 67 down there again, just like earlier to turn one. Loria wasn't having it. This time, Staggermain overcorrects, and look at the massive hit there for the 27 into the wall. Most of the field gets by here, but the 47 lets it roll down the backstretch and collects the 6 and the 3. And that's a big no-no. I don't care what happened in turn 2, if you're frustrated or what, but you cannot be off the brakes here once you've crashed in the middle of the racetrack, turning down the racetrack. That's just going to collect more cars, just like that happened. Andy Berry involved, Brock Hersey, Nathan Finnegan, Josh Anderson, Anthony DeSeo. The list goes on and on.
Anderson just can't catch a break in anything right now.
One more
Take a
time
look at
here.
it again.
Oh, my. Finnegan nowhere to go. The 3 as well. The 15, the 21, the 07. I mean, just so many cars involved in this accident that didn't need to be involved. Here's the view from Josh Anderson.
Oh.
And for Finnegan.
Oh my gosh.
Wrong
He
place,
had it
wrong
avoided.
time. That again is why it's so important to hold the brake when you crash. Now, pit lane was pretty busy. A lot of cars coming in, a lot of cars staying out. We've got 7 that stayed out. Those are Grant, Gunther, Wolsifer, DeWeese, Duncan, Van Schack, and Ball. The 7 cars stay out. Brian Smith back in 8th is the first car on tires. He takes 2 along with Drucker, Luttrell, Levine, O'Hara, and Shucker, and Finnegan, and Hall, and Barry, all taking 2 tires. Loria is the first on 4. He restarts in 15th spot. Going to be a wide mix. It's going to be a grab bag of strategies. Grab one driver here, they're on one thing. Grab another driver over there, they're on another. These guys are going to be a very mixed up bunch here for this restart.
I personally don't like the strategy of coming and taking tires here on lap 25. Still have over 96, is it 90, 86? 86 laps. 86 laps to run with one set of tires. Now you're splitting into 43s, maybe each. I'd rather stay out here and be up front with the first 7 here.
Here we go, back around to the restart zone. I'm so used to calling it the Geico restart zone. This evening, it's the Vans Used Cars restart zone. And we're about to go back in attack mode here. Green flag on the way. There it is. We're racing again here in Kentucky.
Something I've noticed on all these restarts, especially in heat race number 2, I believe, Rich Wolford does not get good restarts. It sets him back. I don't know if he's doing it for a reason, what's going on, but it just seems like he cannot get going on these restarts.
Wilson down to the 4th spot. DeWeese on the outside. He's got contact from behind. The 23 was on that back bumper. 3 wide here off the corner.
Brian Smith making his way back to the front.
Caught in the middle, 3 wide. Gonna have to improvise here down in 1 and 2. He's got Drucker on the inside in that 56 car, who's also on 2 tires. They get down to 2 wide now down the backstretch, and Smith is going to be clear of Drucker to turn 3, dives down to the inside of the 13.
What a move there by Brian Smith. He just rocketed down to that bottom. Here comes Drucker to the inside.
Drucker with a really nice move there through turns 3 and 4, and then again on the front stretch, gets up into Smith here out of turn 2. They're going to hang on, but just barely. Smith now ducks in line. This all is a battle for 6th place right behind Jonathan Duncan. The top 5 are single file. That's Grant, Gunther, Wolsifer, DeWeese, and Duncan. And Laurie is watching all this happening, wondering where he can go by, and look at them behind him. 2, 3 wide for the entire pack.
4 wide, almost all the way in the back. Wolford's looking for 2nd. Is he going to be able to get on Gunther here on the exiting turn 2? Still side by side. Got him by nose. Wolford back to the bottom, trying to rip it around there. 3 wide behind them. And here he comes. Brian Smith. 3 wide for 4th. Trying to get back up to the top. He is a rocket ship today.
Brian Smith on rails this evening. He goes right through that middle gap, brings Loria and Drucker along with 13 of Duncan, falls back to the 8th spot. Out front, it's all Jacob Grant by 4/10 of a second on old tires. Gunther and Wolfsburg are there in the 2nd and 3rd spots. Wolfsburg gets through, 4 wide off the corner. DeWeese is going to get tagged by Loria, and DeWeese at the racetrack, it's going to be a crash.
Loria. Oh, man.
I think I saw Levine get tagged as well as we complete 30 laps of 111. And that is some big damage for the 5 car. This is where they start to fall. We've now got through the first incident. Here's the second. This is where they start to fall. Everybody's got one do-over, but you don't have two. Watch Loria down low. Just enough room to get his nose down there, but tracks out along with everybody else. I don't think he knew there were 4 wide. Tags the 5. Oh my gosh, it's just on from there.
Oh, man. I think Gloria is being too aggressive here so early on in the race.
Slow it down. Watch the 36 get hit right there. The left side gets cleaned off of it. That was Stephen Luttrell. Andy Berry all over the place. Josh Anderson ends up correcting up the racetrack into David Levine. So Anderson puts the 59 in the fence. And that about concludes that replay session here for caution number 2. A lot of cars down the pit lane here. A very active pit lane. And this feels a bit more natural for a pit stop here. You can run 40s to the end, so 40 and 40 from here gets you right to the end of the race. And that's reflected by a lot of these guys coming in for tires. We saw Grant in the pit lane there, who did not pit under the previous yellow. A lot of guys coming back in and topping off on fuel just in case. And a lot of guys coming in for damage repairs. Let's dial up the one driver who has stayed out now on both of these cautions. It's going to be Charles Van Schaik, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name. We're going to find out real quick, though, Zach. We're going to bring him in here and talk to him. Charles, you're running in third spot right now. Stay out under both of these yellows. And the biggest question on our minds, if you can believe it or not, is how to pronounce your last name.
It's Van Schaik.
Now, I know, and I know some English. I know there's some letters in there you just said that are not in that name.
No, definitely not. Not many people get it. Actually, 2 people in my whole life have ever gotten it right that aren't family.
One more time for us. It was, what was it again?
It's Van Schaik.
Van Schaik.
S-K-O-Y-K. You'll never pronounce it wrong again.
Sounds good. Well, I was wondering, this seems like an all right time to come in and get tires for the first time tonight, but you decided not to, and I was wondering why. Why are you staying out on these tires?
Fuel runs roughly, the fuel runs roughly 58, 59, so I only got about 20 laps, and then I can come down early, get fresh tires, and then have that extra set. That second run there, most of the people behind me had fresh tires, but I was able to make some runs on people, so I just felt like it was do something different than everyone else. I don't drive. I mean, no one really does these cars, but this is literally my first race or second race in this car, so I have no idea what to do. So just do something different and hope it pans out.
Well, we hope it pans out for you. Car 23 is looking good this evening. Keep that purple car out front. I like the color purple. It looks good on that one.
Thanks, man.
Chuck Van Schaik. That is a very fun name. What channel were you in? Were you in with Grant?
Race Chat 8.
Race Chat 8. Let me find that here again. It's all mixed up. I gotcha. Best of luck.
Thanks, buddy.
I like the call.
Down with his team, and yeah, when he puts it that way, to save an extra set of tires, I can't argue with it. It's ballsy for sure, and we're going to see if it works out for him or not. But here we go. Back around to the Vans used cars. Restart zone. Brian Smith, Jack Drucker, your front row. Chuck Van Schaik sits in third. What a name. Green flag back in the air. Some blocks in the back. That was Anderson blocking Staggerman down to the bottom of the racetrack. Van Schaik, though, on old tires, has not yet pitted in this race. Looking for second.
I really like his call here. That is the best definition of being slow early on, but being faster at the end. And as we've seen already, cautions do breed cautions is the magic word, and it could work out for him here in the end.
A lot of side-by-side, 3 wide happening here in the back of the field. Staggerman, Duncan, and Gladgelich all 3 wide. Grant down low in the middle of it. Ball really in the center of things. He's in the very middle of this pack, but he gets up to the top side of the racetrack and will clear the 14 of Gladgelich and move on up to the 14th spot. Out front, it's all Brian Smith. He's got a 2/10 of a second race lead. If it was 2 seconds, it would look like Rockingham earlier today. Instead, we've got equally matched ARCA cars. These guys are on top of one another. This is everything that could be in the ARCA series, but in reality, between what happens on the sim and what happens in real life, is you've got a wide disparity of preparation that comes to the racetrack. A lot of teams coming in with full rigs, some teams coming in with open trailers for an ARCA race, and there is a wide pace gap. You're on iRacing, everybody's got the same preparation of the car. Everybody's got the same car, in this case the same setup, and this is the result. Some of the best looking racing you're going to find in stock cars anywhere on the iRacing.com sim. This Flood Relief 227 has been magical. To the inside that time was the 7 of Vinsalt. He was looking at Van Schaik. Van Schaik falls back as Loria gets into the 27 there of Camburn. Loria is roughing these guys up, and you know what? Go back to 2024 in the Icon Cup Series. We covered it in depth throughout the course of the year. Loria was aggressive all season long, him and Brian Smith both. And he did not make friends. Loria did not. He brings that same attitude to the racetrack everywhere he goes. He is straight out racing for blood. Doesn't care if he makes friends or not. He just wants to win races. And I can't be mad at that. I just can't, no matter how hard I try as Zach, I can't be mad at that. He just wants to race, wants to win. Caution.
And that's such.
Oh, Staggermain, Shucker. Luttrell, Wolsifer. I see Grant is in this. This is a big one.
That's going to take out a lot of cars, especially with most of them using their fast repairs.
Jonathan Duncan got the inside of Richard Wolsifer here in 1 and 2. And that's where this starts. So watch Wolsifer in that 56 car. Now, where did he go? There he is. On the outside into turn 1. Oh, Wolsifer made him come down, but then Duncan came up the racetrack. Grant plowed through. Shucker, Sagerman getting involved. Oh boy, Brock Hersey got a piece.
Wolsifer's misfortunes continue.
On
Strong
board
car.
with David Levine here. I think I saw this guy snake through this crash, and we could have an early lucky break contender right here.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that one. That.
We're going to check one more here. Sean O'Hara also in a tricky spot, but luckily gets through here, so watch this. He's down, avoiding the crash on the inside. Oh, but just gets involved there. Oh, so close. And so we're going to go back and watch this one more time. Another view here on board the Winn-Dixie 59. I think this is lucky performance, lucky break of the day material right here. He's already had to use a fast repair, I believe. No, actually he has not. So he got that damage fixed after that contact with Anderson. And has continued on and snakes on through that crash. He's hanging in there. And so the field paces once again. We'll have 70 laps to go this next time by the flag stand. Several cars on the pit lane, Sean O'Hara included. Stephen Luttrell is down there. You can just see O'Hara's damage there on the left side of that front bumper. Stephen Luttrell. Oh, Steve Staggerman's got a lot of damage. Zach Shucker as well, and he has used a fast repair, I believe. Well, maybe not. I know Josh Anderson has, and he's got more damage. He's a lap down. And Luttrell has also used his fast fix, so he is stuck with this damage as they run.
Andrew, I do want to put it out there for your Whiplash racing driver, Nicholas Renner. He has a fire in his grass.
That is maybe the most unique reason I've ever heard so far for not being at the sim.
He turned the sprinklers on, and then this was earlier on in, I guess, during heat race number 2 this all started. And then he said when he left he doesn't think the fire is out.
Wow.
So.
Well, unfortunate stuff there for Nick Renner. He's still in the session, so he can get back in the race if he desires, but he is 35 laps down. The first car to call it a night is going to be Christian Lotion there in the 3. And he is so far credited with 26th position. We'll get a re-go here. The Paycor 56 on the outside. The Furniture Row 78 there on the inside. It'll be Brian Smith in that 78 car leading us back around to the green flag over Jack Drucker, Chris Camburn, Vincent Loria, Charles Van Scoik, Devin Visnaw, Anthony DeSeo, Andy Barry, Adam Ball, and Christopher Hall. Back around to the Vans restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. Inside of 70 laps to go. And Oh, some hairy stuff on the restart. Loria goes all the way up the racetrack, all the way to those marbles way up there.
Van Squake still has not pitted, I believe. He's still holding on inside the top 10.
Correct, has not yet pitted, has the same set of tires that he started the race on that race car. DeSeo makes an appearance here in the top 10. Anthony now moving up here in this race. He's ahead of Andy Berry and Adam Ball as they go 3 wide into turn 3. DeSeo caught down low, and Adam Ball, what a drive there through the corner, just takes it right through the middle. Brock Hersey in the wall, he hangs on. Chris Cameron seeing a lot of Vincent Loria right now.
Loria touches the wall a little bit on the backstretch. Looking to the inside. He's been looking there all night.
I think Drucker took the 28 of the racetrack a little bit as now Loria gets into the 28. They just hang on. That was close. That was scary. That was a lot of things. Drucker now a run on Smith as they stay side by side for third. The 7 of Visnall looking as good as he's looked all night long. He sits in 5th.
Did Drucker take 4 tires when he pitted, or did he take 2?
He took 2. Loria is the first car on 4. That's from 22 laps ago. Cambird also took 4. Adam Ball there in 5th. He also took 4 tires. Visnall took 4. Of course, Van Scoik is still on the same old tires he started the race on. Andy Berry took 4. Christoph Hall took 4. And Nathan Finnegan took 4. As they're 3 wide here inside the top 5. And Loria just squeezes by and just gets ahead of Drucker.
And they're tandeming up to Brian Smith.
Back in the top 10 here, Christoph Hall. He won heat race number 1 after a mistake early on a restart. Started this race from pole position, has been all the way down to last in 27th, and is trying to make a comeback here.
And I believe in this race he also had a penalty for the restart violation.
That's right. That's right.
He's probably thinking, if I did it in the first heat race and I won it, I can do it again. And you know what? Kind of a good way to look at it.
The Brian Smith, Vincent Loria, a very icon top 2. Oh, contact there. Camber and carries Adam Ball into the corner. And this backs him up. Van Squake goes on by for 4th. He's still on those old tires. And fuel, by the way. He's got a pit soon. As they're 3 wide for 5th.
This whole strategy for him could go up in smoke if he does not get a caution in the next 10 laps. I know he said earlier on in this interview, he said about 58 laps on a tank. We're 8 laps away from that.
And of course, he's done some saving out of these cautions, so he can extend it a little ways, but who knows how long. Oh, right there. There's going to be a crash. Brock Hersey just hangs on. Andy Berry catches the race car. I thought they were done for.
Oh, man, that was crazy. That was awesome. They all saved it. Wow.
Now, remember here, Loria's got 4 tires and Smith has got 2. We've got 60 to go, this time by the flag stand. Loria is on the back bumper of Brian Smith. Here they go, side by side, turn number 1.
Looks like Loria has been the only one that's been able to contend with Brian Smith lately. He's still there on the inside. Can he get a run going into turn 3? Still side by side. Is he gonna be able to clear him? No. You know, Loria's been really aggressive. Just not going to be enough. Looks like he's going to fall back in line. Looks like we got a lap car. 3 wide with the lap car. Back to 2. Smith holds on.
That lap car is Sean O'Hara. He's going to let all these guys go into turn 1. Scrapes up the outside wall as well. Trying to let them all by. Got a little hairy there for a moment. Off the corner, it's going to get scary again. Wilsifer coming. Whoa, look at him squeeze right on by the 25 car. Good job done. Out front, lap 53 here, 111. This race continues on. Not a very long race. It's about an ARCA race length. I can see these guys running about this length of race. A little long for them, maybe. We saw 125 laps in the Rockingham race earlier today in the ARCA Menard Series East. So 111 here in Kentucky isn't too crazy. Vince Skoik down to the inside of that 56 car. Vince Skoik has got worse tires and less fuel and just drove to the inside of Drucker, who's got better tires and more fuel and was the fastest qualifier. That is impressive out of Vince Skoik. He is one to watch as this night goes on, no matter the strategy.
When you can recycle these tires, basically, when you can get them cooled down after burning them up, the tires just get so much extra life out of them, and you can push as hard as these guys are pushing with fresh tires, and he's still holding on, but the only thing I'm worried about is this fuel situation. He needs a yellow bad. I think if you pit here, you're going to lose, I think, 2 laps. You just can't have that, especially with the whole field. Then once he pits, he needs everybody to start coming down, but it's going to be tough. I think he can do it, though, if we can get maybe a yellow or if we stay green to the end once he starts the pit cycle.
He'll have to pit about 20 laps sooner than the rest of the field. So if we go green for a long length of time, that kind of tells you about when he's got to pit compared to the rest of these guys. 20 laps earlier, thereabouts. And that could be really any time now. Finnegan drives up here to Van Skoik. Finnegan now up into the 7th spot. Paul on the outside in 6th. One car down low, that's the 48. That's Zach Shucker. Oh, Adam Ball right on the door there of Shucker. That got close. And Zach Shucker will hold the bottom of the racetrack and let these guys go by. That got scary. 4 wide for a second with Vizna and the 44 of Modesty. We keep on trucking. And look at this 5 car. Braxton DeWeese heading back up the field. That short track report number 5 is back into the top 10. Just broke in and now runs in 9th ahead of Modesty. I know some of the folk over at Short Track Report, and they deserve a run like this. They know. They believe in this driver. Braxton DeWeese has come alive on iRacing recently. They believe in him. And he is definitely showing this field what for as he's driven back through the field up to 8th position now. He's got no fast repair left in the bank, so he's got to be careful, but he has got some speed.
Van Skoik, I feel like the tires are starting to fall off, or maybe he's saving. I think if you're Van Skoik, you somehow have to pit. He's probably, I believe he's in the window to go from here to the end if he has to pit. Going off what he said earlier in his interview, but I think the tires are just now starting to fall off a little bit for him. They've been running a green flag for a little bit now. Tires are about to heated back up, and he's got to hold on to the car, and he's doing a great job of it right now.
Oh, that was almost a crash right behind him with Luis and Camburn. Luckily they hung on, but you're right. That 23 has got to pit soon. And he should be good to the end on fuel, so he should be able to save that set of tires, but at what cost? And now you wonder, what if he had just come in and topped off on gas but kept the set of tires in the race car? What kind of position would he be in? He'd be set to go a whole lot further as the 47 goes a lap down to stagger me. And here comes Van Skoik to the pit lane, 50 to go.
The thing is to watch out with these ARCA cars is there is no pit, there is no tachometer that gives you the lights inside the car of telling you what your pit speed is, so it's just based off of memory of knowing how fast you got to go. Is it a gas only, or is there going to be 4 tires here?
Got to take 4 tires at this point in the race. I haven't taken the tires yet. Yep, up on the jacks, going to take all 4. So that's Van Skoik going up on the jacks and taking service. And look at this. Sean O'Hara a lap down has come in, taken a fast repair, is now 3 laps down, and on brand new tires, driving back through the field. And look at Loria send it up the inside of Brian Smith in the race lead. O'Hara's going to try and go by on the inside while they're battling for the lead. Whoa.
I believe O'Hara's probably got fresh tires here, and he's going to take full use of it.
I don't think Loria's going to like that very much. He had the 78 where he wanted him, and the 25 kind of cost him that opportunity. Brian Smith has led 55 of 63 complete laps. All but 8 so far tonight in this feature race. The 78 has been out front. That is domination so far. And we're getting close. We've already talked about Lucky Performance, Lucky Break of the Day, so that was fun. We can talk about that a little more as the night goes on, but we've got to start thinking about that North American Racing League Driver of the Day conversation, Zach. I know my pick, even if you take him. I know he's at least guaranteed on this Driver of the Day vote, and that's going to be Ryan Smith.
I agree with you on that one, and I'm going to go with Braxton DeWeese. He wrecked earlier on, driven his way back up to the field. Doesn't have a fast repair to end the race, but hey, I feel like he's proved it.
So far, we have Brian Smith in the 78. We have Braxton DeWeese in the 5. And you know what? It's going to be right back here in third place that I find my next pick. Nathan Finnegan has driven from starting 12th and being down in 22nd at one point to being now in third position. He has positioned himself very nicely here for the end.
Oh, this is tough. Everybody's had really good races.
Well, here, I'll do you a favor. So, we like to look at positions gained over the course of the race because they've battled through the field. Let's bring that up here on the ticker. It's now on the screen. Adam Ball, for example, is up 18 positions. He's in 5th as DeWeese goes past him.
Wow. You know what? Give me Adam Ball.
All right, I like it. So we will put that vote up over on YouTube. You can vote for your favorite driver of the day. The contenders are your race leader, Brian Smith, who's under fire now from Vincent Loria, and this one could go the distance. No, Loria gets tight. So your contenders are Smith in the 78. Get his name on the screen. There we go. As well as... Whoa! Where did that come from?
Again! My side! Oh! Not enough!
Well, anyways, you get the point. If you're over on YouTube, vote. You can see all the options we went over them. We've got to cover what's happening here. DeWeese and Finnegan have run these leaders down. Look at DeWeese here on the outside now. Finnegan. These two are both a contender for driver of the day. 4 of the top 5 drivers are. Loria is the only one not in that vote. Loria way up the racetrack that time in 3 and 4. A nice run here by DeWeese. 69 complete. About 42 to go.
I do want to point out, looking at the times, just went through them. Brian Smith's running 31:17, and Van Scoyk is running, I believe, 30:60s. So he's gaining about 5/10 a lap since he pitted. Van Scoyk could have a really good call here.
It might not work out too bad. If this thing goes green, these guys have to pit too. So if it all equals out for him, he might be in a decent spot, but it has to work out perfectly. DeWeese down low into Finnegan. A little bit of contact there, and here comes the 44 of Modesty. Where did he come from? 3 wide.
A lot of players coming into the fold now. Once Smith has gotten some pressure putting on him, everybody's starting to come up to the field. But like I said earlier on, they got to work together to get by Smith. Smith has been really good out front by himself with clean air on his nose. You guys got to work together to get by him.
And these are 3 of the best from the Icon Cup Series last year in 2024. 3 of the championship 4 right here. Brian Smith, Vincent Loria, Nathan Finnegan. It's like a classic repeat of what we saw all last year on Pit Stop TV. These three drivers going at it for a race win. There goes Loria to the inside.
Loria's looking to the inside, but the inside just hasn't been working in turns 1 and 2 for him lately. Is he going to be able to clear him? No. Smith got the run on exit. Looks like a little bit of contact, maybe not. Loria's going to try to close the gap, doesn't get it. Side by side for second, Finnegan and Loria. Loria's still looking. Top 3 all under a blanket as they come out of turn 4.
Make that top 5. You see Deweese and Modesty there in the group as well. Ball has fallen back a little bit. Did he get holding that 67 down just a bit? Going to hold the outside line here through 1 and 2. And he's going to drive away from that 67 car there off the corner. Finnegan's got to run, and he's going to bring Deweese down to the inside.
I think we're coming up to green flag pit stops, Andrew.
This has just been insane, and there goes Finnegan to the outside of Brian Smith. The one place Smith has not let anybody go all night long. Finnegan goes there, and he's going to drive right on by for the race lead. Nathan Finnegan to the point in the flood relief 227.
Wow.
And
Finnegan.
Suddenly, Brian Smith looks human again. He's coming in.
And he's dropping. Pit stop.
He said, all right, you passed me, I'm coming in. Undercut. He's going to bring, I think, at least somebody with him. Drucker's in the pit lane. He's taking service. He's going to roll back out there. He got the undercut on everybody else. He was the first to pit lane.
Van Squake lap time by with a 30.81.
Watch here. Do we have any more takers this lap? No. Finnegan and everybody else stays out. Adam Ball's coming in the 19. He's going to bring Andy Berry. Any other takers in the background? Looks like Teseo pitted last time. But most of the field stays out. Whoa, Loria, what is going on here? He's trying to fight down to the inside. He must be wanting to pit. And there he goes to the pit lane.
Loria comes in.
Finnegan stays out. And Loria is relatively alone. There aren't many takers along with him. I think a lot of these guys are trusting the trends of this race and trusting that a caution is on its way. I can't blame them, but at the same time, you have to be ready in case this thing goes green. It very well could. It has those looks right now. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in and ask you guys to do one thing. A couple of things, actually. We're going to first ask you to consider donating to the cause of the evening. The Flood Relief 227 is, of course, in benefit of the Kyle Vincent Gilbert family. They've recently been impacted by the flooding in Kentucky, and we're doing what we can this evening to help that family out, get them back on their feet. Already over $700 have been raised, I think around $800 when this broadcast started, and who knows where it's gone since then. Here comes Finnegan to the pit lane, by the way. He's coming in. But we ask you to please consider donating. You can use the PayPal QR code there on the right. You know, Cody Eldred, I wish we could black flag somebody for a donation. I wish we could. We talked about it a little bit. We thought maybe we could implement it, but we just didn't have the time to get it done. But a great question. I'll field it there. Really good question, as it looks like Braxton Deweese is caught for speeding in the pit lane. The other thing I want you guys to do, is if you can, please consider going over to the Pit Stop TV social media platforms. And that's the graphic. There we go. Consider giving us just a like, a follow. That way you can keep up with what's going on here at Pit Stop TV, because there is so much. Events like this, easily missed if you don't follow us on social media platforms. All listed there for you. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and X. 30 laps to go. Here's Zach, and Modesty leads. He is not yet pitted. Most of the field now has.
First car 1 lap down. It's Charles Van Scoik. Just want to put it out there, so in case we do get that yellow, it is not Brian Smith getting that lap back. It will be Van Scoik as it runs right now. And this call that he made, I believe is going to be beneficial, but it might hurt him later on in the run.
Yeah, he's going to have really good tires right now, or at least for the last 20 laps that he's been running out there. But of course, those tires are going to fall off as the run goes on, so he will lose time as this run wears on. In fact, he's already lost about a half second over the top about him to Brian Smith. There's Van Scoik. And Van Scoik is in turn 2. Smith is right behind him in turn 1. They're not far apart, but Smith is the first car that has taken service. So we see those green flag pit stops. Smith takes the stop, comes out about 2.5 seconds back. He's now 1.9 seconds back on Van Scoik and closing. The only thing is, look at that 67. He's approaching Brian Smith as well, and that could slow Smith down.
Van Scoik last time out was a 31.16. Brian Smith was a 30.84. Smith is closing.
Amidst all this craziness right now with this pit cycle, we got to give thanks to those who helped this event take place. Of course, the Icon Cup Series, Fans Used Cars, Darkayus Digital, and hashtag FreeVinny, all donating a little bit extra this evening to help this event take place. Also want to thank those helping us out at Pitstop TV. We'll go through them quickly. Whiplash SimCam, ZTBO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and North American Racing League. That NARL Driver of the Day vote is live. One car in the wall, it's the 47. But make sure to vote for your Driver of the Day in the YouTube side of things as we watch Brian Smith and Vincent Loria run Van Scoik down. The gap now, just 0.8 seconds. On board with Brian Smith.
Smith and Loria are working together. They are tandeming perfectly down the straightaway. They aren't trying to pass. Loria's not trying to pass Smith, which is very surprising because Loria's been so aggressive all night. I think Loria's starting to understand he's got to work with Smith, but then he's got to get by him, and he's going to need some help with that.
Vincent Loria is a very smart race car driver. He drives over his head sometimes, I'll give him that, but he's very smart. He knows how to play the game, and he is doing it here with Brian Smith, bringing that 78 car right to the back end of Van Scoik. Van Scoik is going to lose this spot pretty quickly, I think. Smith goes up high, though. Is he going to have a run here off the corner? As Wolfsburg finally comes in. Modesty should be in soon as well. And there's the door. Right on open for Smith to go on by Van Scoik.
I still don't hate the call. I still don't hate the strategy call that Van Scoik has done tonight.
Not at all. If we get a caution, he's right back in this with he'd be the only car on fresh tires. Granted, we have seen old tires be pretty darn good on a long run and on a short run. We've seen guys on old tires or even on 2 tires be really solid. So I don't know how much that would actually do for Van Scoik if we got a caution. I'm sure it would help him, but how much?
When Van Scoik exited the pits, he was around a 30.6. Other guys now are starting into the 31s, 30.9s. It could be a really good call, but then again, once you recycle the tires, they get so much more speed out of them, and it could be a really big advantage for them.
Rusty Modesty still on the racetrack, has not yet pitted. He's got a little ways to go here. Stephen Luttrell also on the racetrack, but he's about a lap down to Modesty. Levine going to pass him. David Levine runs in the 22nd spot, 2 laps down, so he had something go wrong.
Looks like Modesty is pitted.
Yeah, Modesty is in. Luttrell now the only car that is not yet pitted. Smith and Loria are going to cycle out to be first and second. We held up a little bit behind the lap car of Andy Berry. Smith went a little high. Loria went low. Berry coming down. Oh, man. And Finnegan has now passed Van Scoik. 21 to go. Luttrell has not yet pitted. He's right ahead of these leaders. Here's Luttrell, staying out on the racetrack for now. He's going to lead here with 20 laps to go. He has taken his fast repair, so this damage is permanent. He's just trying to nurse it on home.
I don't know, staying out this long is just doesn't
He's hoping
make
to
that
catch a
much
caution.
sense.
He's hoping to catch a caution. There's really no other hope there. There's your two race leaders. Once Luttrell pits, it'll be these two out front, inside of 20 to go. Smith and Loria. Nathan Finnegan sits back there. He is across the line there. Van Scoik would be fourth. Drucker would be fifth over Adam Ball in sixth. Richard Wilson would be seventh. Christoph Hall in eighth. Ricky Grant in ninth. And currently, Jonathan Duncan will round out your top 10.
I believe Luttrell is pitting this time. No.
Luttrell stays
They just
out,
caught
but
him so
does get
fast.
past.
They caught him so fast. I was for sure he was coming down.
So Brian Smith now leads once again.
I don't know if you can beat the 78 without help. He's just been so strong all night. Loria and Finnegan need to hook up, and they need to try to get on the outside, just like how Finnegan did earlier.
And
Finnegan does have a couple of pressure tires.
Yeah, and Finnegan's on the move here. He's behind these guys. Here he is on his onboard here. And here's the gap up to Loria. 1 second closing in. Slowly but surely working closer and closer to these guys. I just wonder, even if he gets there, how much tire is he going to have left? This time by should be 15 laps to go.
Last time by, Vincent Loria with a 30.86 and Finnegan with a 30.76. Catching about a tenth. Now he's gonna have a little bit of draft too off of Barry. Just to close the gap up a lot.
Right back on board with Finnegan, down to 7/10 across the line that time. A lot of drivers are screaming for a caution right now. They would take anything. That would completely change the complexion of this race. But right now, on this long green flag run, it's Smith, Loria, Finnegan. The same top three we're used to.
And Finnegan is there. He's got the draft, he's got the toe. Vincent with a 30.96. Finnegan with a 30.60. Now you just gotta get by Andy Berry here if you can.
There's lap traffic ahead. David Levine sits ahead for these race leaders, and Loria looks to the inside. So 2 wide now, side by side for the race lead. Loria falls back out of it. Here comes Finnegan, though.
With a big run out of turn 4, side by side with Loria now. I still think they gotta work together, but Finnegan has been able to get that top side. I believe he has the best chance to pass Brian Smith if he can get there. He caught him quick. I wasn't expecting that fast.
Well, that happened pretty quick. Levine goes high, lets these leaders do their thing down low.
Oh, Finnegan's gonna get shit. Oh no!
I don't think it hurt him that
about to
bad.
get a big run.
I don't think it hurt him that bad. Finnegan's still got a run here.
And Smith knows Finnegan can take that outside from him. He goes to block the outside, back to the bottom for Smith. Finnegan's got to do it on the outside. It's the only way he's going to be able to get past the 78 as he did it earlier on. Coming to 11 to go at the line.
That time he got caught in dirty air. But he's now got 11 laps to square up with that 78 and go to battle.
And Smith, I'm sorry, blocks the top, and here comes Loria to the outside.
Loria back up top. The problem is I can hold both of these guys up and let Smith drive away. Finnegan gets in behind the 67. That's smart. Do not be caught Smith, side by side like this. So battles throughout the field. Christoph Hall side by side with Adam Ball. 11 laps to go there. Jonathan Duncan, Jacob Grant, they're side by side, and now single file. Grant loses the spot. Duncan takes it away. Kevin Gunther sits right behind these guys. Then Rusty Modesty and Jacob Gradulich, Chris Camber and Devin Visnaw, your top 15. Braxton DeWeese, we talked about him earlier on. He's a driver of the day candidate. Unfortunately, got caught speeding on pit lane, and now with 10 laps to go, he is a lap down in 19th spot. But Zach is right behind Steven Luttrell, who's got better tires. But if he can pass that 36 machine, which he might be able to do here, he would be your lucky dog. If we get a caution, DeWeese could be right back in this thing.
Side by side, out of turn 2, can DeWeese get him? He's got to get by him, especially if we do get a yellow. I think he's going to get him here in turn 3.
So DeWeese will get by that 36 car and start to pull away. Battle here for 4th. Jack Drucker, Richard Wolsifer, and Christoph Hall. 3 cars under a blanket. Drucker's got the spot. These two 56 cars going at it. Oh, almost contact. There might have been contact. And up front, look at these guys. Finnegan trying to get to the outside of Smith. 7 laps to go, that last time by.
Don't look bottom, Finnegan. You can't look bottom. You got to only pass him on the top.
He's going to dive bomb here for turn 3. Going for a slide job, maybe. Finnegan's got the nose ahead. Can he pull up and clear? Yes! Slide job. Crossover now out of the 78. He's going to go right back down to the bottom. A chop block there from Finnegan.
Finnegan's got to hold the top side, but now he's got the advantage, and he's in a single file out. Nathan Finnegan to the point.
Caution! Everything turns on its head.
I think Finnegan was out front, too. Oh.
Drucker and Hall turned around here in this caution. Remember, they were racing for 5th with Richard Wolsifer.
And guess who your lucky dog's gonna be?
Braxton DeWeese.
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Watch this between the two 56 cars. Wolsifer and Drucker. I'm not sure what happened there.
You know who this benefits the most out of all this?
Van Squake. I'm not sure what's making that crash. That's strange.
Just want to point it out there. The top 8, as they run right now, are all from heat race number 2.
Wow. Let's see how things change here with pit stops. Smith is coming down. I don't think he's got tires, but he
might have a set of lefts. I think he has a set of lefts.
You're right. He might. And look at that purple 23 car. Van Squik is coming in.
This is going to get interesting. Smith driving through the field. Van Squik with fresh tires going to drive through the field. This is shaping up to be a really, really good finish.
But how much ground is Van Squik really going to get here? We got 15 cars staying out.
A lot of them are lap cars, though.
He's going to need to use all 3 green-white checkers, I think, and even then, it's going to be rough going.
I believe, wasn't Richard Wilselfer one of the last ones to come down pit road during that pit cycle?
And he took 2 tires to get back out there as quick as possible.
Oh, he did. Ah.
See, there's the 5 car of DeWeese taking his wave around, his lucky dog. And you know what? I'm going to reclassify our lucky performance, lucky break of the day. I think it's going to him. This caution, just in the nick of time, is putting him back on the lead lap, and the opportunity now is wide open. Anything can happen. We currently have a tie for driver of the day between Brian Smith and Nathan Finnegan. And that's fair, first of all, for those two to be tied for driver of the day, but we can only have one. So, if you're watching this broadcast, which if you're hearing my voice, you are, and if you're watching on YouTube, go vote. Even if you're not watching on YouTube, fire up a whatever other device, or fire up YouTube on the device you're watching, just switch on over. Watch on YouTube, make your vote. Even if you're watching on the TV, I know you've got a smartphone or a laptop or a tablet sitting around somewhere. Get on there, go vote.
Andrew, it looks like when we go back green, it's going to be a natural green-white checkered.
It is.
Looks like Finnegan chose the top. Loria goes to the bottom. Only the leader can choose. Wolsifer in third. Adam Ball in fourth. Fifth is Duncan. Sixth is Modesty, who also stayed out the longest.
Want to mention real quick, the pre-Vinny pit lane was very busy there, but your top 14 cars here, or 13 cars rather, all stayed out on old tires. Also, coming back around to the Man's Used Cars restart zone for a natural green-white checkered. So this is, we're going to bring up the Lucky Performance Overtime rules real quick because it still applies. We'll have 2 laps, a green lap and a white lap. If the green lap is completed, the race is official. White flag will end the race. If the green lap is not completed, we restart again. After all attempts are used, a caution can end the race if it comes down to it. We'll leave that graphic on the screen for just a second as we go back. Green flag racing in the Vans Used Cars restart zone.
Finnegan fires first, is going to have a big jump. Be able to clear the bottom. Drops back to the top.
Oh, Loria gets down there on Finnegan. Side by side through the corner. Here we go. It's a straight up race. Contact between the top 2. Wolsifer's third.
Finnegan up high. He's going to get a run with the momentum. But it looks like Loria's going to try to side draft him. Side by side coming to the white flag.
Nathan Finnegan has put his all into this event, organizing this thing from the very beginning of the idea. If he can go to victory lane tonight, he would donate all his winnings right back to the cause. Out of turn number 2 here, side by side between Finnegan and Loria. Down the back stretch, it's going to be a drag race back around. Free Vinny on the inside. It's going to be Nathan Finnegan on the outside. Contact between the 2. Loria is going to carry that 6 car up. And Vincent Loria is going to drive back down. Wait! He's going to door the 6 at the racetrack, and Vinny is going to win. That's not going to be popular. Finnegan's not going to be happy, but Vincent Loria is going to go to victory lane.
Wow.
And the fan club is going to be happy with that one. A lot of these drivers might not be, but I said it earlier, man. This guy just wants to race and win. That's all that's on his agenda, winning races. Shows up to a race, had one agenda this evening, that was to win. He was not going to be denied that opportunity.
It is not a very popular over the radio. Lots of drivers are upset. Wow.
Finnegan took it right down to pit lane. Loria, though, doing some burnouts in the front stretch, as he's entitled to. It's not going to be popular, but it is a race win. And so, race winner, Vincent Loria this evening. Car 67. Anthony DeSeo does some burnouts there in the background. And we'll be talking with the top three, which are Vincent Loria, Nathan Finnegan, and Jack Drucker. Drucker, a solid drive to get back up there.
I do want to mention,
Loria continues to do some burnouts.
I do want to mention over the radio, the top three of Loria, Finnegan, and Drucker all said they don't want the money.
Very popular thing in these benefit style races to forego the winnings, and it sounds like our top three will be doing just that this evening. They just wanted to race and have some fun, and that's what they did. So let's go through your unofficial race results, and I stress unofficial. Although I don't think there'll be much changing in an unofficial non-points race like this. Vincent Loria, look at that. He led one lap, Zach. It was the very last lap, en route to victory over Nathan Finnegan and Jack Drucker, rather. Rusty Modesty stayed out all those laps. He ends up 4th. Brian Smith drove back to 5th. Jacob Grant 6th. Richard Wolfsburg fell down to 7th spot. Jonathan Duncan 8th. Adam Ball and Kevin Gunther nabbed top 10s.
Van Scoik in 11th, Camburn in 12th, Vinsall in 13th, Hersey in 14th, Tiso in 15th, Hall in 16th, DeWeese comes home 17th, Gladuluk in 18th, O'Hara in 19th, and Luttrell in 20th.
Back down to 21st, it's David Levine. Unfortunate ending to his night. Andy Berry there in 22nd, Zach Shucker 23rd. Steven Staggermain will finish 24th place this evening. Then a few drivers a bunch of laps down. Josh Anderson, Christian Lotion, and Nick Renner. Well, we said it. It likely will not be a popular win, but it is a win still for Vincent Loria in spectacular fashion. You can't deny that much. He crossed the finish line first, and it was spectacular to watch, even if you didn't like it. We'll be talking to each of these three drivers. Let's bring in... I'm looking for Loria first, and I will grab driver 67 this evening. Give me just one moment to bring him up. And we'll drag in hashtag Free Vinny's compatriot. It is Vincent Loria this evening. Congratulations, Vincent. It's not going to be popular, though. And I said earlier in the broadcast, you have one agenda when you show up to these races, and that's to win. Is that true?
Well, I like to think so. I'm honestly pretty much retired from the sim ever since getting the Banhammer out of the Icon series. Haven't been racing much. I saw the news about Kyle, so wanted to come back, and I mean it's too picture perfect. I mean, a lot of Icon guys in here. I don't have any real ill will towards them. Still a little salty about the whole scenario though, and coming to the checkered with Finnegan there. Yeah, I mean I was gonna do whatever it took to win. I mean, it was a hard fought battle. I don't even think I really needed to door him to the line, but he was coming down the track. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to curl it all the way to the bottom. I wanted to try to side draft him, but cut back up, ended up dooring him, and then whatever it is at the line. I mean, hell of a race, super exciting. Glad to be back in victory lane with the 67 machine.
And this is a special kind of race, special kind of circumstances, but in hindsight here, would you change anything going back, even if it meant still winning the race? Would you change any of how you did it tonight?
For sure, yeah. I wouldn't change how I drove into 3 and 4. I think that's fine. I mean, he threw a slider on Brian. Yeah, it was clean, and I wasn't really, clear, but the contact there was super minimal, and I didn't, force him all the way up into the wall. It was just driving him up the track. I mean, that's not a friendly move, but that's not, dirty. If I could go back, though, probably wouldn't dorm coming to the line. I feel like that was a little scummy there. So apologies to Nathan for that one. But I saw the checkered flag waving. I saw my nose in front, and I was going to do whatever it took to keep it there.
He saw an opportunity and he took it. He led one lap this evening and is en route to victory. Congratulations, Vincent. And I want to get official word here. Not that it matters that much, but we heard maybe that the top 3 was foregoing the winnings, and I just wanted to clarify that with you. Perfectly fine if you take them, but we wanted to clarify anyway.
No, I'm not keeping any of it. It's gonna, the $50 doesn't matter to me. It's gonna help Kyle out. Kyle was always a great guy in the league. Obviously don't race in that league anymore, but the Icon Cup Series full of a bunch of nice guys, and Kyle was definitely one of them. So I was gutted to hear what happened to him. That's just terribly unfortunate. So yeah, no, I'm not keeping any of that. I don't expect any of these guys to.
And there you go, official word from Vincent Loria, race winner this evening. It was for $50, but foregoes that, donates it right back to the cause, and Vincent, I think that might change some minds of some of these guys. It was all a fun race, who knows, but congratulations regardless.
Appreciate it. Good to hear from you guys too. Thanks for putting on the show. Great broadcast crew. You guys do a great job, and it's for a good cause. So thanks guys.
It's good to be back. That's Vincent Loria this evening with a race win. We'll go down and grab second place. Nathan Finnegan and Zach, he's headed your way. Not only is he headed your way, though, he is today's driver of the day. Nathan Finnegan wins the vote.
Nathan Finnegan. Oh, man. You had a great race today. You got driver of the day. Come home second. Get Dort at the line. Take me through what happened there.
Yeah, my gosh, what an event. That was awesome green flag racing we had during the feature, and glad we could have put on a really good show for everybody. Glad we could raise, a lot of money for Kyle and his family. I'm not sure officially on the total tally. I still gotta take a look, but I believe we did raise over $1,000, which is just incredible. Really happy that you guys could have helped out with this broadcast, and really happy for you as well, Zach. I know you helped me a ton with promotions and marketing and things like that today. We really honestly pulled probably 50 or 60% of the field together just this afternoon and like 12 hours leading up to the race. So huge effort by everybody involved to get this off the ground, get this rolling, and just super proud of everybody that we could have done something like this. And I know Kyle will be super appreciative. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the win. We wanted to put the 6 in victory lane. Been on a hot streak lately and wanted to keep that going, and caution couldn't have fell at a worse time at the end there. We had the 78 and the 67, I feel like dead to rights so many ways with tire strategy. We were two tenths a lap quicker, and I had got to Brian's right rear and got to the outside, and I felt like we could have been driving away if we had stayed green. Unfortunately it didn't, and on that restart decided to take the outside, knowing that the right rear was just super crucial because it was so hard to pass on the bottom. Would have loved personally to run that final lap a lot cleaner. Really felt like I raced around the 78 and the 67 pretty clean all night, and don't really know why. I mean, I know it's the last lap, but sailing it in there with no intention of making the corner and just dooring me completely up the track, and then starts running down the hill to the apron. I chase him downhill because he's going that direction, and then all of a sudden he cuts the wheel back up to the right, and I slam into him. So, I'm sure it made for an awesome photo finish for you guys. Just wish that could have been ran a lot cleaner, but it is what it is. But we're happy to take home a P2, and I know Jack mentioned to me he was going to put his money back into the prize pool for donations, and I intend to do the same with my winnings from P2. So, again, just huge shout out to Pit Stop and everybody, all the partners that put this together. And within like a week or two, we put this together. So, and everyone that donated, thank you so much. No donation was too little in this event, and everybody had a part to play in this. So, thanks again.
You guys put on a great performance tonight. It looked like you were the only one that was able to get to, I think it was Brian Smith's outside the whole race. You led 11 laps. How, you were the only one, and that was so awesome to watch. And I was saying on the broadcast, you're the only one that was able to do it. How were you able to do it?
Yeah, I think these cars really shine in the long run. I think I was talking about it a little bit over the race comms during the race and in the heats and stuff like that, but they just they seem to translate really well. Just cutting the wheel, like you get good turn, cutting the wheel 90 degrees and just mashing the gas, and like it works well for like 10, 15, 20 laps, but then it inevitably will fall off. And really just was mindful of our tires and saving the right front as best we could. We conceded a lot of positions early, just letting a lot of guys go because people were in this draft package too. It's so hard to get separation. I was making the analogy, it's kind of like opening up a wing in an F1 car and opening up DRS when you're behind guys. Like, it just sucks right up to the back of the other car in front. So, yeah, just choosing different lanes, getting out of line. There's so much aero blocking that happens with this car, and understandably so, because that was the entire Gen 6 era of real-life NASCAR racing as we knew it. And this car is certainly no different than its real-life counterpart in that way. And, yeah, just picking that different line, saving the front, and being able to get that rotation on the outside was the only way you're really going to make passes around here tonight.
Thank you, Nathan. Again, driver of the day. Good job tonight, buddy.
Hey, appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much.
Nathan Finnegan this evening, second place when it's all said and done. We'll go down and grab Jack Drucker here in just a moment, but I want to make a clarification. We just learned it's Saint Germain, and I feel a space would help. Steve Staggermain that we're going with, it's Saint Germain, and I've just learned that. He apparently had it on the hood. You can just see it there as well. So I apologize, Steve. Didn't catch that in pre-race, but from Staggermain to Saint Germain, regardless, I'm glad we got clarification at some point. So anyways, we'll go down and we'll grab Jack Drucker, who ends up third place this evening. A solid run for car 56, from fastest in qualifying to the back of heat 1 for the start to driving your way through that. Jack, it was an up and down kind of day. You were even as low as 19th here in the feature race, but how did you fight back up to third?
Well, that was a pretty exciting race. First of all, I'm really happy we were able to raise a lot of money. I heard it was over $1,000 for a really good cause, so couldn't be prouder of that effort. And thank you to Nathan for putting this whole deal on, and thank you guys for broadcasting it. Yeah, no, just really crazy race. It's tough to pass on these ARCA cars, but everybody, I think that was a pretty fun, clean show. The green flag cycle helped me out a little bit, and then I know I got into it to be the caution there. It stood up to 2 to go, so that was unfortunate. But yeah, that last lap, I'm sure there was some pretty camera angles of that with the whole 3 to 5 wide in the grass deal. So that was pretty exciting to come home P3.
And you know what? After this interview, we're going to take a replay of it and just recap everything that happened on that last lap. But walk us through it, because I look at this replay here that's live right now in slow-mo, and you're like 10th or something. So how do you get through to that third spot?
Well, I know the 78 car, he was on the same tires I was, because I think everybody took a set of tires around the lap 20 caution, I think it was. And I know me and the 78 took fuel only, so I think we were one of the few cars that still had a set lang, so sticker tires definitely helped. You know, roll the top through 1 and 2, got some spots out of that. And then down the back stretch, you know, sparks flying, people flying everywhere, so you don't know if people are going to wreck or what. And then when we get back down to turns 3 and 4, I kind of figured everybody was going to end up squeezing up the hill, and that ended up kind of happening for me, so I got lucky on that. And then as we were coming down the front stretch, I was trying to keep it on the racetrack, but I wasn't sure if that was going to be door contact or what it was going to turn into, so kind of just took it to the grass, Dale Earnhardt style, and put it to the floor.
That's 5 wide across the line. Brats there. If we had a Reese's Sweet move like the real ARCA series, that would be it right there. From like 10th going into that last lap to third place. Congratulations. We just watched it on the replay, and that was something else for sure. Clip that, send that to iRacing. That was big.
Well, hey, speaking of Reese's, happy Easter, by the way, to everybody out there, and hope everybody has a great day tomorrow. And yeah, I would call that a pretty sweet move. I'll own that one.
Let's watch this last lap here again. Walk us through what's going on at this point in time.
Yeah, so just trying to keep air to the nose. That's why I was running like a little bit extra high. I didn't know we were 4 there. I thought we were 3. And then, yeah, right here is when I thought we were going to start getting wrecking because I thought we were going to have cars turning, not knowing where to go. Then right here, kind of back up the corner, hopefully roll the top, get around the 19 car there. And then I see everybody piling up out of 4, and I knew the momentum was going to get real slow. And at that point, you know, dive it, and then hopefully keep it on the racetrack. And then when I forget which car number that was, moved down a little bit, that's when I sent it to the grass and just, you know, lay the foot to the floor and make it stick.
That is impressive. Congratulations. That is almost race-winning material right there. That is impressive stuff. Jack, good to talk to you. Congratulations on the solid run, and hopefully we're talking to you again soon.
Thank you so much, guys. Again, appreciate it. If anybody's still watching, any more money you got for a great cause, we'd really appreciate it. But thank you guys for broadcasting this. I hope everybody has a happy Easter.
Absolutely. Happy Easter to you as well. That is Jack Drucker. And you know what, Zach, we got to look at that one more time. Just one more time. That is impressive.
Holy, that was wow.
Let's back this up. This is out of turn 2 off the initial restart. And just watch this 56 because he's probably 10th or 12th. And this really encapsulates everything that goes on behind the leaders. We saw what happened with the leaders. We'll get another replay of that in a moment. But this is just insane. Cars everywhere, struggling for grip.
4 wide in turn
there.
2.
4 wide
4
again.
in front of him. Oh my, that was amazing.
And the crazier thing is when he comes off the corner here, he's got a run and makes it 5 wide. So watch this, we'll slow it down. Just snakes right on between the 13 and 56 cars and drives down through the grass. That is 5 wide across the line. This angle doesn't really show it. It shows a little bit of it. And he's just down there, just rally crossing over the bumps. That is impressive.
Wow.
Now for a replay of that restart and what happened with the winners. Winner. Vincent Loria. So here he comes on the inside of Nathan Finnegan. And it's just straight up air battle between these two from here.
This is coming to the white.
Coming to white flag here. Brought to the Whiplash Sim Cams. And you'd think Finnegan's got this thing won. At least I thought he did. Because he had the advantage into 1. He could have held the 67 back. He gets a run here down the back stretch.
There.
I really think even here the 6 cars got it. But then he just drives down through the corner, takes him up the racetrack, and that, I think, is what sealed the deal right there. But even then, going to the stripe, we saw the door banging. Finnegan doored him. He doored him back.
Oh, that changes my outlook on that.
Let's watch that back. I didn't see it like that the first time either, but watch this. The 6 comes down the racetrack and kind of hits him first. They met in the middle, I'd say. He didn't go as far out of the way at first as it looked.
I think Finnegan also said that he saw the 67 moving down. He was just following him down.
Well, let's look back at what happened to end this race. That'll close things up here at the virtual Kentucky Speedway. Thanks so much for watching. We got a couple more things to do here, but let's take a look at what's upcoming for us here at Pit Stop TV first. Next up, in just under a week, we head out to Monza for the Autodromo Nacional Monza event for the North American Racing League, brought to you by Maradness. That's April the 24th. That is our very next broadcast here for the channel. And then the following week, we have a jumpy truck race. Yes, a jumpy truck race, as they say. We're taking Pro 4 trucks, the Lucas Oil Off-Road Pro 4 trucks, to Crandon International Raceway for the Badger State Showdown in Wisconsin. Should be a lot of fun. That's for Regal Promotions. Again, Regal Promotions. And you can find out more information about them on social media at Regal Promotions. that is a kind of special event, a kind of money event, if you will. You can still enter it. Entries are wide open. We're getting more drivers into this thing. We need more drivers into this thing. Zach, you should go sign up. Be crazy to see you in one of those jumpy trucks. It's going to be a lot of fun on Wednesday, April the 30th. And then Thursday, May 1st, we break into May with Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, one of the best racetracks in the country for the North American Racing League on May 1st. It's going to be a lot of fun there as well. That will do it for us this evening. And Zach, there's plenty of places to keep up with Pitstop TV as we move on to the future.
Yeah, you can follow us on Pitstop TV. Oh, I'm sorry. Facebook.com/PitstopTV/ and then Instagram.com/PitstopTV. TikTok.com/PitstopTV1, Twitch.tv/Pit_Stop_TV, YouTube.com/C/PitstopTV1, and on X, you can follow us at X.com/PitstopTV_.
Before we go, I want to give one more thank you to those who helped this event take place. Of course, the Icon Cup Series, Fans Used Cars, Darkhaeus Digital. And you know what? Darkhaeus asked us to do one thing. We didn't do it yet. He wanted us to find the best looking paint scheme on the racetrack. And it's going to be one that I think he painted. And it's going to be the 6 car for me. It looks fantastic, a great color balance. I really enjoy what was done there with the number 6. I think Darkhaeus painted it, but it might have been Nathan. I'm not really sure. It was one of the two. But regardless, that is my vote. Do you have the best paint scheme in the field?
Man, I really like. Oh, what car was it? Oh, drawing blanks here. I'm drawing blanks. You know what? I'm just gonna say Vincent Laria because it's pretty funny.
Definitely some humor there for the free Vinny paint scheme, but it ends up in Victory Lane when it's all said and done, and that's the big reward is Victory Lane. So congratulations to him. A big shout out as well to those who make it happen for us here at Pitstop TV, Whiplash Slim Cams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. Kyle, Vincent, Gilbert, I hope this at least distracted you guys. I really do. I know that's all we can ask for sometimes is a distraction. I also hope this money goes to a great cause to help you guys. I hope it really does help you get back out of the hole. This is talking straight to you guys. The whole family, the Gilbert family, I really genuinely hope this helps you out. This was a lot of fun tonight. I hate the reason that it was for, right? Because I hate that they had to go through the trauma, the damages and everything from the flood. But I also love that we were able to do this. So it's just one of those kind of amazing events to be a part of, and I really hope this helps the family out. So Gilberts, if you guys are still watching, thank you for allowing us to hold this for you guys. Thank you for what you do, and I genuinely hope this really does help you guys out. But that'll do it for us this evening from the virtual Kentucky Speedway. We will see you all next time here at Pitstop TV. The next one for us, of course, the North American Racing League, heading out to none other than Autodromo Nacional Monza. Going to be a lot of fun. Until then, we'll see you all next time.